Just standard 3-3 here. You can play with a Sombra. We've seen a lot of Pharah being brought on this map as well. Make use of those very close edges to the side of the map where the point does currently stand.
Yeah, the knockoffs here can be incredibly powerful, but we'll have to see if our teams are going to be bringing out anything that can really make use of them. Right now, Urki hovering over that Pharah, for want of a better word, will be able to do a lot of damage and may actually make Chagasi sort of a non-factor on that Brigitte. He's going to be mostly... he's going to be concerned with trying to contain Bruce and on the Sombra, try and make sure that his EMP generation isn't all that right now. Looking at this comp, Morningstar's, Chubb's already been slept, but it looks like the rest of his team want to go off and maybe swap up their composition to something else unless they're deciding on another route of entry here. They have to figure out how they're going to try and deal with Urki. Slur, obviously, will be one of the main people to do that. He's actually swapped over to a Widowmaker right now. Okay. Morningstars, are they going to go for the solo sport? No, he's actually onto the Moira, just making sure Urki can't stay up in the air.
Yeah, I was going to say, just poking from spawn. Fairly open skybox, of course, when you are hanging around the point, like Urki was. Speaking of Urki, he's doing a whole lot of damage at the front line. Chubb's falling pretty low already. That bio grenade was so good. That's one rocket. That's 2 kills. Assists. Chubb's and Slur going down. That's a problem for us Morningstars. They did lose the point, of course, as well. Very slow on the rotation, but that was actually all in aid with AFOX there. Did sleep Chubb's fairly early on. It was like, okay, now we have to wait for a Reinhardt. And now we lost the point, and Angry Titans taking the 4th position. They've already got a barrage coming online.
Yeah, that barrage is going to be absolutely crucial as well, especially if you can try and bait out the defense matrix from Tech 36. Remember, that's on a longer cooldown now. Does have 2 seconds between casts as well as refilling as a resource. There you see, Tech 36 has used it. They're going to continue forcing that out, and then Urki's going to dive in.
Oh, barrage in the bubble! They all turned away! That's 4 kills!
Don't look at the sun, Jaws. It'll blind you.
Oh my goodness. James was like, there's no way, there's a bubble there. If he goes in, like, he's gonna, end up killing himself. No, not if you dip inside the bubble and kill the rest of the team that way. Easy 4 kills for Urki. Morningstar's struggling to build up ults as well in these fights. Slur's the only one near an ult. He's only at 70% though.
Well, Angry Titans are also struggling to build up ultimates because Urki's just doing all of the damage that's necessary. Bruson needs to poke from the back, try and get the CMP, make sure the next engage. Chubb's already down though. Suplex doing that damage. The EMP could end this already.
I mean, I don't think they even need it, to be honest. Their main tank falling. Everybody's going to have a harder time getting back onto this point. ATF so many ults ready to go as well. This could just be a 1 map right here.
The only person who could really poke Kevster as well as Dredro to send out those long-range sound blasts. Gigasi currently harassed by Urki's almost got another barrage. They're going to need to somehow try and deal with this. Angry Titans, they're going to be ready with 6 ultimates for this final fight. Morningstars appear to have been thoroughly outcomped. They haven't even touched the point yet, Jaws. They don't know what contesting even feels like. It's a mythical feeling, but not one that they know.
Supercharger coming out already. Kevster takes the head of Kagasi. Kevster finds another one. Barrage right on top of the mech. I don't think Tech 36 was expecting that. Morningstars, they get to the point, Harry, but the rest of them will end up going down. AT all hit Q at the same time, and that is going to be it. There's an EMP coming through, though. Askin sending it out as a victory firework, or a defeated firework in this case, and Lighthouse will go over to AT, 100-0.
Yeah, that's a very dominant performance from AT, bringing out that triple DPS. Evidently, they have the skill set to do it, and the rotation of ultimates was just so sublime. Except they didn't really need it. They only needed like a barrage to do one, and then Chubb's got picked early, so everyone sort of like scattered. And when you start to scatter, usually against a 3-3 composition, that can work out okay because they don't have as much chasing power once they get rid of that speed boost. But against so many people who aren't suffering so much from damage drop-off and can do damage from range, you're just getting picked apart. Kevster now going to swap over. He's sticking with the hit scan with a long range, but this time it's going to be Widowmaker. A lot more one-shot capability for him. And Morningstars, they want to take advantage of these tight pseudo corridors by playing on that 3-2-1 and allowing Chubbs once again to play on that Reinhardt. Angry Titans, though, they're going to make it very difficult for him. Brewson's going to be looking for those hacks, of course. If you can get Chubbs' shield down, that means Kevster can hit these headshots like he's already doing. He's a quarter of a way to that infra site. And Morningstars, are they going to go back to spawn and change things up? It's the question. They did it last time, but they gave up a huge amount of time in doing so.
Point's going to be unlocked in 5 seconds also.
Nice monkey balling.
Yeah, Supook looking like he wants to dive on the back line. With the help of Bruson, of course.
He can definitely make a lot of space for Bruson. Draw some resources, allow him to keep using that SMG. They actually got a hack onto Tech.
Pile driver, pretty easy. Can't absorb all of anything with that defense matrix. It is down. Point's going to get capped by AT.
Yeah, it is. We'll have to see. Urki's actually been hacked now, so he's going to be a ground-based Pharah for a while. Does use the rocket jump to get himself up onto some higher ground. forced out asking, and now Morningstar's going to claim the point.
He's got the barrage, though. He's looking for somebody. Slur in a very awkward situation. Fade's been used. Kevs already finds the first pick of the fight in Tridd, but he actually gets traded out by asking. Not the worst trade in the world, but someone still has to deal with Erky. A hack might just do it, but they need to be able to run him down. Sleep onto Chubbs, meaning he can't really do all of anything. Asking's going to kill Super Pluke. Now the ball is rolling for Morningstars. Chubbs gets back up online. And Angry Titans, they've got an EMP and a barrage waiting for them. They just need to find the perfect time to strike.
Morningstars have got their first cap of the map. You're going to be looking to see Brucein get an EMP or a stun on Tech 36. There's no defense matrix.
Early coalescence. Chubbs is going to go down. Tech 36 Mex instantly gets destroyed as well with that barrage. And now Kev's just finding picks. All this AT comp is good at doing is just picking one by one by one by one. And that's exactly what they've done. Point's going to get contested here for a little bit longer as Kagasi actually coming back in with the rally. That's going to fade, though, momentarily. Gets naded and instantly killed off.
And he does. Kev's locking down his points of entrance. Slur may go on to a point.
What a headshot.
Tridd tried the same.
All right, feels good, feels good. There we go. Now, Super Pluke can just dive on the point. He's got the mines as well. Should be almost an unlosable fight for AT in this instance. Chubbs does end up falling in the end. Points should get recapped, but Morningstars with 40% on the board.
I've got to give a lot of credit there to Brucein as well for nerfing the potential Morningstars had to sustain. He went for the targeted manual hack onto Slur. Coalescence is sort of like a channeled ultimate, so it can be cancelled just like Whole Hog, just like Deadeye as well. If you get a hack off midway through, he targets that perfectly. Speaking of perfect targeting, enjoy a pile driver.
There's the mines. Does get hacked though. Everybody's able to scurry out. Not too much damage inflicted, but now they have to run into not only an EMP, maybe a barrage as well. EMP comes out, stops the boosters from Tech. Now he can't join his Winston in the back line. Chubbs under a whole heap of trouble. Tech 36 will end up going down to the barrage. Chubbs, okay, not in as much trouble as I thought he was. Still manages to take out Kevster, but the rest of his team are just trying desperately to clamber onto this point. Kagasi going fairly low, and Erky's got him in his sights. He's going to have to try and keep himself up, but his shield almost depleted. Still contesting, however. Beat's going to come through as well. So Super Blue going down here is pretty disastrous. Erky's going to have to come up with something clutch, but even Brucin's going fairly low himself as well.
Kevster's returned on the Tracer, but he's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with Kagasi. Attempting for a manual hack is asking. Oh, it's going to force for recall, and that's about just as good as a hack can get as well. Now it's just all about percentage, yours.
Yeah, he's all dead. It's all done. 80 need to go again. However, look, 87% versus coming up to 50 now for Morningstars. Now it's about the rotation of ults, Harry. They've got Coalescence, they've got that EMP, but AT swapping up actually now. They've got Nano available, but EMP is going to be the only other ult available online. It's not the best combination of ults to really use here. In fact, Asking might just go for an early EMP. He does just that. Angry Titans completely destroyed. Although, I say that, Bruce actually lays down his own EMP. He's going to get hacked regardless here. But is it going to actually mean all of anything? Asking's getting targeted out in the back line. In fact, I should eat my own words, Harry. Tech 36 is going to fall also. Kagasi fell early on in that fight, couldn't get that rally off, so they had no defensive countermeasure for the incoming EMP from Brucein.
Yeah, the thing is, when you EMP, right, everyone's diving in. You want to get as much damage done as possible, but when everyone dives in, they're all vulnerable to that counter EMP. And in that case, you're like, okay, you've all dived into us, but guess what? We have a Reinhardt. We've got more damage. Super Pluke, in just one fight, is up to 80%. He's doing a huge amount of work, and now he will be able to get that for this final fight.
Nice little nade onto Tech. He's falling pretty low. Actually used that self-destruct to find a little bit of a remake. Bomb goes in.
Good block from Kevster.
Kevster's going to block it up. There's the shadow. No one can block that. And that Briggs on the floor is going to get hacked as well, but the rally's still going off, which is why it's important. Everybody gaining that additional aura on Morningstars. Chubbs wasn't in range, though, and ends up going down. And now Kevster up to 70%, mowing down the rest of Morningstars. Drujo with the late beat in is going to have to wait for Asking to potentially build an EMP here for a flip on this map. I don't think it's going to come. Kevster's now got a Graviton Surge of his own. Can lock any point of ingress up, Harry. He throws it out. AT didn't even need it, however. Chubbs gets back to the point in time with Primal Rage. Couldn't stall out long enough, and AT take Ilios.
Angry Titans there demonstrated exactly how they could turn around during a comp swap the tempo of that match. On the first map, we saw the Morningstars were a little bit lost with what they wanted to play, and they just weren't able to get much purchase on even the point. I don't think they contested it once over the course of that because they always got waylaid on their way into the point on their sort of like commute there. There was too much long-range damage to deal with. I think they would have been better off just allowing Asking to go for that sniper duel rather than just being like, okay, this is what's meta, this is what's going to work for us. It doesn't always work.
Well, map number 2 is going to come up very shortly. We'll see if Samsung and Morningstars can bounce back. We'll see you guys in a sec. Hey guys, welcome back. Morning Stars versus AT on your screens. This was the week, Harry, to turn it all around. Both teams currently sitting on 1 and 3 in the standings, taking both the 5th and 6th place, or 6th and 7th place, sorry. This is a very scary situation for both teams, because if they lose here, later weeks, it's going to be even harder to get back up into the spots where you're not in the danger zone of falling down to trials. Of course, this is where it all turns around. AT currently up a map. We're going on for Sky next.
Speaking of turn around jaws for Sky, we've often seen a couple of snipers here and there. It's pretty popular for the Hanzo for the Widowmaker. And when I think of Widowmaker in Europe, Asking is a name that always comes to mind. I feel that they should have played it on Lighthouse, on Ilios. It would have been able to create space a lot more easily. They would have been able to potentially check Kevster, who was doing so much from on high. He wasn't really in the kill feed as much, but we saw in the replays during our break that he was doing a lot of damage, especially when supercharged, and Ash does a insane amount of damage, especially with headshots. And obviously, if you're poking away, that means that Urki's having a far easier time securing those kills. He only needs to hit one direct, especially when he's doing damage-boosted rocket damage as well. Heading over to Royal Sky, though, I wonder if we're going to see any different compositions coming through. I'd like to see a little bit more Orisa as well, maybe. But obviously, Winston's very popular here because as people make their engagements go through these narrow corridors, you can get a lot of charge towards Primal Rage.
Like you can. I thought the same thing, Harry. I'm not going to lie. I thought Asking was going to pop on that Widowmaker, and I thought Tridd maybe going onto that Mercy as well. He's definitely one of the best Mercies in EU currently. But right now, we're not seeing too much flexibility from them. It's gone from Dive Goats onto the Sombra as well. I mean, there's not really too much variation. AT showing a little bit more of their hand, though, coming into this match specifically. It has been more of a mainstay for AT in the past, of course, not with this roster, to just go 3-3 every single game. Maybe a couple of swap-ups here and there. They were one of the first teams to show off this Ash Goats composition on Blizzard's World, which, to varying degrees of success, it was fairly annoying for teams to kind of deal with because Ash does a boatload of damage. But this, of course, remember, was all the way back when Goats was a permanent thing in EU. We weren't seeing a lot of Sombra, if any at all, to be fair.
Ash is also reasonably good at dealing with Sombra because she still does a huge amount of damage when she is hacked because she can just aim down the rifle scope and plant a few Viper shots into the nasty.
Yeah,
hacker.
Dynamite does a lot too as well, to be fair, because it forces the recall from the Sombra. It forces you to use that Translocator, which means you're out of the fight, which means you're not building ult charge, which means you're not pressuring supports and health packs. Does a lot of work. AT, though, on the defense. Not going with anything that, Harry, not anything too crazy right now. We're just seeing Winston with Goats, and of course they have Sombra as well.
I like seeing Asking, though, on that Widowmaker, maybe he'll swap back. There it is. He's on, what? Symmetra? Okay.
Teleporting, maybe?
Maybe he wants to put someone into a more advantageous place, like Slur up onto a roof somewhere, or just put everyone up onto that central pavilion.
Oh, no, they're just... Okay, triple DPS. There you go. Tridd's on the Mercy, and we've got Tech on the Sombra. So triple DPS for Morning Stars on their attack. AFOX going to have to be very, very careful. He goes down, could be all over.
He's already super low, and he is actually going to have to be the main one checking Kagasi. You can see that Kagasi's taking a little bit of damage here and there. Those long-range shots going to be diverted now. Need to heal up Superpluke.
Look at the pressure they're actually putting on Superpluke here. Just make a dive in, almost instantly killing Kagasi. They'll be all right, though. They've got Slur at their back. Still main healer, of course, for Morning Stars. So a lot of healing output, but focus fire from AFOX and Superpluke ends up taking down Kagasi. Trying to pressure out now, making sure the Mercy can't res, so they don't get a basically free attack. Gonna have to rotate once more, but Tridd already up to an ult almost. Good little pick onto Slur there as well. I'm not entirely sure what Kevster was. Maybe in the back line somewhere. It seems like it, as Slur did, get the resurrection.
Look at how much AFOX already done. He's already got the nano boost compared to everyone else. Slur is still 40% behind. AFOX is just doing so much damage right here, and he's coordinating so well with Superpluke.
There's the nano. Unfortunately, didn't make it to that little window, but it's okay. Still pushing out the tanks in the front line. More distracting than anything else currently. Tech's going to go pretty low, get taken out by Fat, who was pressuring the point that whole time, by the way. Maybe the Translocator got destroyed. It got
destroyed by the initial dive there from Superpluke. He must have called it out. It was like, okay, the kills come up for the Translocator. Get onto Tech 36 now if he's revealed himself. Won't have a good time. That is a very
they're going to go over the wall.
EMP.
I don't think they're going to be able to chase this one up. In fact, Dragons are coming out as well to make sure they can't. Nano boost on the Winston. Instant sleep onto Chubbs, though, so he can't do all of anything, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. Asking taking the game into his own hands, taking out Urki with a quick and clean headshot. Kagasi can now rule the skies without little fear, really. I mean, he has to fear Aafox. He's got the barrage as well, and there's going to be AT scurrying for cover.
No resurrections this time. We'll have to see if he can be pressured out by Bruce, and Chubb's already down.
Oh, barrage! Is it going to be able to clip? I don't think that actually did any damage at all. Maybe Aafox took a little bit there. Doesn't actually do all of anything, not initially, but still the pressure was there. Dragons again coming through from asking. He's building these up so quickly to clear everybody out off the high ground. The rest is history. They jumped onto the point. They had to die somehow. Aafox going to donate himself to the icy waters. Morning Stars, they're going to break the first point and get the cap.
It's okay, though, for Angry Titans. Look at the time that's been burned. 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from Morning Star's clock. And also, they used about 5 ultimates in that fight, Jaws. Every single one of them was required because of how hard Angry Titans were fighting. And this means Morning Stars can sort of justify to themselves all swapping over. Chubbs was the only ultimate available for that Primal. He's going to give it up now to go over onto the Reinhardt. Not sure. Asking is, in fact, going to be joining him, of course, on the Zai. Gives me a little bit more protection. He's going to need that with Super Luke, able to penetrate through the barriers with the Tesla coil. And, of course, the double shielding means that one of the main win conditions, which is Bruce bombing into an unprotected team, could be a lot easier to try and mitigate here for Morning Stars as they run onto the point.
Kevster just needs to build up towards the CMP. He's so close, Aaron. Could just go for this with a manual hack onto Chubbs. He's scouting them out currently. Doesn't want to get slept by Slayer, of course. We've seen what can happen. Self-destruct goes up. No one goes down just yet. Kev's actually slept in the back line. The rest of his team do jump on him. That bio grenade's going to be good as well to heal him up and damage the rest of the team. Drijo, Kagasi, and Slur were afflicted with the anti-nade, and that'll be the push over.
They got a hack onto Kevster there to make sure he couldn't translocate away, but unfortunately everyone was so keen on trying to take advantage of that slate pack combination that unfortunately they all just found themselves at the clutches of Angry Titans, who did a huge amount of damage. Bruce's going to swap over now. I wonder if we're also going to see Super Luke give up his ult. Looks like that's going to be the case. I want to go for Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. Aafox and Slur both going to have their nano boost ready for the forthcoming fight, so potentially Super Luke will be able to catch up in terms of ultimate charge if he can go into an EMP team. But they may want to potentially try and go for a hack onto the Lucio to make sure they can't disengage once that nano Reinhardt comes out.
Where's the fun in playing fair, Harry, huh? Where is it? EMP is at the ready, so he's going to take 36. Kevster going for a counter EMP, maybe. Comes out with his own. Kagasi in a whole lot of trouble, but Keg's going to be there as well. Perfect beat, but it doesn't catch Urki or Super Luke, and they go instantly to the floor. Angry Titans have no point pushing out at all. They've got supports left, and Kevster, Brewston's going to be able to come back in, but he's only got 400 HP to really play with, and he's going really low as well. Aafox is going to end up falling, and now they have to wait for Chubbs to drop that hammer. He can pressure out Super Pluke for eternity right now. He knows he's got it. Dritro is going to fall, Harry, but this could just be the push over if they're not careful.
It has to be. Everyone's got the hammer down, ready to go. Who's he going to go for?
He doesn't even need it, mate. Brewston's already dead. He got the pin kill. The sleep's going to be good here. In fact, doing a little bit of damage, but the support structure for Morning Stars right now is too good. A solo shatter on the back line will end the cap. Morning Stars finding the second point. Round 1 completes. Now it's AT's turn.
Feels like currently the Sombras are sort of playing a similar mental game to the Lucios, right? You're trying to bait out the EMP and then you go in after. Like, usually you wait for the EMP, then you use your sound barrier. But instead of going, okay, you use your EMP, then I'll use my EMP, because they know that the enemy team's plan is to use the EMP, and then as you have a Reinhardt
just go aggro.
And Zai, you've just got to go full aggro. You've got to dogpile on them. You've got to make sure to shell shock them before they can get anything done. But, you know, okay, they're going to put themselves in bad positions to try and make this work, right? So we'll just allow them to EMP. Sombra hide away, as you usually do, you coward.
Wow.
You dishonorable hero. And then when they come in to get aggro, you EMP them. Your EMP not only lasts longer, but they're in a position where you guys were sort of traveling towards as a formation, right? You had relative safety as you were moving. And now they've come into you in a far more aggro way. For Reinhardt's far more likely to be separated, much more easy to try and take advantage of that. And we saw just how aggro they got. The Super Fluke, he was dead before the beat hit the ground after the EMP, and that beat was almost instant.
Yeah, the beat has a ripple effect as well, so it takes a little bit longer to get to its max range, and sometimes you kind of underestimate that. I know sometimes I've done it where I'm like, oh, I'm going to beat, like it's going to be okay, everybody's going to get shields, and then obviously you see the ripple, it's like, oh, it didn't hit me, oh, I'm dead, or, you know, I don't get
You're
my
just like,
main
you're
tank.
behind the wall, dude, position better,
Yeah.
not my fault.
It's not my fault. I only beat 2 people, but it's not my fault. Please just stay in my line of sight.
Just you and Vianna in the background, like,
Yeah.
we're safe, guys, go at him.
We have like 1 billion HP, but you're all dead, so unlucky, I guess. Go again. Well, AT, not going to go again just yet. They need to complete the map first. 2 minutes and 59 seconds for Morning Stars. Not too bad, not too bad. AT running out with Kevster on the Widow. Going to go Roadhog as well. Urki potentially changing here just to see if he can get an initial hook. He's actually staying on this for quite a while, actually.
Defense is quite interesting. We talked about the double sniper. That's exactly what they're going to have. Look at how safe Asking is right now. He's just hiding behind Chubbs' shield because he knows that Kevster wants to try and get the one up on him when it comes to the Widowmaker, and it's going to be so much easier for him because he's got that permanent ability to shield up, and of course with Kagasi on that damage boosted Hanzo, there's so much shield pressure that can happen. Attempting for a halt into a snipe, not going to work this time. Chubbs needs to replace that shield, and then they're going to be good to go.
Translocating back to the top side is Tech36. Kevster trying to get an angle here on Asking. Hasn't quite found it just yet. He knows there are at least 2 people up on the top side here. He's just waiting for people to come back out. Nice little headshot onto Chubbs, but instantly scurries for cover. He's getting pressure out himself here as well. Doesn't quite land the shot. Fat and Urki are going pretty low themselves. They've got to be really careful. They're bio grenade right now. Anything will kill Fat at this point. He's going so low. Someone has to kill him. Oh, Tech36 tried. Oh, it didn't work though. He's going to get hooked and killed, but Asking at least a little bit of retribution there as Super Fluke ends up going down, but Fat with the immediate res.
Brewston's mech has been lost. He's going to be in a very vulnerable position right now. Afox not getting a huge amount done on this Hanzo. Definitely not as much as Kagasi, who has the Dragon Strike ready to go. There it comes. Going to potentially force out some positioning. Look how low Super Fluke is. But try to halt him in.
Urki just got halt hooks. Insta-kill. Kevster's going to find the kill onto Chubbs. Angry Titans with a blink of an eye, Harry. It's all over already. Point's going to go over to them. They're going to be able to roll on to second. Got a couple of ults online as well. They can use that Dragon Strike so effectively here. In my head, they use that Dragon Strike, force people out of cover, straight into Urki's whole hog.
Yeah, and guess what? Kevster, he can inform both the whole hog, the hooks of a Roadhog, and that Dragon Strike if he gets this Infrasight up and available, because everyone's going to be revealed. There it is, instantly. Afox now knows where everyone is, so you can very much effectively have the information to use that Dragon Strike. Tech36 still a little bit away from that EMP. His generation has not been what we would like from the DPS caliber of Contenders. Slow's got the nano boost ready to go, but he may well be caught by surprise by this Dragon if Afox can hit a shot.
Oh, that Translocator. He's going so low as well. Got to be careful now. Afox using the Dragon to up to the high ground. He's going to get armor before he drops, so he's going to be okay for the time being. Throughout the nano as well, but it was almost telegraphed by AT. They knew exactly what was going on. Managed to back away from Chubbs when they had the nano, and now slow and steady pace game for AT. Move that shield forward an inch at a time.
There's the next inch. We're onto a point right now. Tech36 desperately needs a CMP. If he gets it,
he's only hitting shield. There we go. Finally gets it and threw that Translocator in. He's trying to set up. He lets it go. Super Fluke instantly afflicted with the anti-nade. Should be a relatively easy cleanup now. No worries. Urki gets 1 kill. We got a front line to deal with the rest. It's not a problem. Urki's still trying to fish for hooks. Nice little pick onto Asking, though. They're staying around here. I mean, they might as well. They have range advantage. Even whole hog's actually going to be used here. Okay. Urki gets slept, and here comes the supercharger. This is a very delayed fight, Harry.
Well, it's a single tick that they've gained is what it is, so Super Fluke's going to be okay with that.
Oh, the melee! Kill him! Oh, Fat gets him with the staff kill. Angry Titans now on the point. Morningstars are going to have to touch. Are they going to be able to? They eventually managed to get back on it, but death after death after death. Asking and Dredro end up going down. This slow-paced fight from AT was perfect. Moving that shield an inch forward every time, putting the supercharger down for pressure was all that they needed. That self-destruct right on top of the point, and Chubbs body blocked off touching it as well. Angry Titans going to get a bit of a better time bank than Morningstars.
You know, that's the first time I've seen a Valkyrie Mercy go in for a double staff hit.
The double melee.
Usually it's all about the pistol, because of course you don't need to reload, so you start getting a huge DPS advantage out of that, and the movement makes you super hard to hit, so you can take the duels. But going into the Caduceus stuff, you're like, I don't need to stop healing my team to kill you. That's how
wow.
that's
disrespect.
Care. You are nothing to me.
Jeez. Calm down, Harry. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Exactly what Morningstar's telling themselves right now as well. 2 minutes and 59. It's not the worst on Voss Sky. We normally do see it go to OT on second point, but against 427, it's going to hit your mental just a little bit. AT are going to be on the defense first. And we did see AT take first point rather easily. Again, it was a very slow-paced attack. Tech36 overstepped his mark, and the problem with going against an Orisa Hog, if you do overstep your mark ever so slightly, you're either going to get halted straight in or just a plain vanilla hook and an insta-kill if you're 200 HP.
Speaking of Tech36, I need to see more old generation from him, Jaws. He only had about 70% of his EMP after they lost the first point. He needs to be doing more damage right here, and you know that Urki is checking him so well with that Roadhog. It says it in his Twitter bio, he's a Roadhog one-trick by his own admission, but he's super good at that hero, and he was super good at making sure Tech36 did not feel safe in any of his zone of influence at all. I'll have to see if Morningstars are going to come out with a different composition, seeing what they're up against. Angry Titans are playing it safe on the defense. They want the additional healing. They want the harass from Kevster. But it could mean that it's very difficult to deal with a fire up in the air. Morningstars won't opt for that, though. If they want to go for this mirror matchup, Kevster versus Tech36, who's already been afflicted with a bardic grenade.
Fire grenades and the Annas have just gotten better and better. I'm happy we're seeing a little bit more Anna as well. The sleep darts can be so clean. Looks so good for the highlights we have after the show and before the show. Nice little sleep onto Urki. Superluke getting an absolute ton of damage down. Morningstar's making the big rotation, though, round to the mega health pack.
Urki got slept. Unfortunately, no follow-up available for that one. Superluke deciding what space he wants. But right now, health pack control is going to be in favor of Morningstars. Asking to be the one who's tanked at the moment, but no follow-up.
That health pack's actually going to get taken over by Tech36.
I think
sorry, by Kevster, sorry.
Yeah,
It's going to be AT that actually control it. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for Morningstars if they want to retreat. Tridd going fairly aggressive on the Winston on the high ground. Didn't die somehow. One person's going to get slept. It's actually going to be A-Fox. He's going to get guarded by the shield, but now no one can really do any healing. Superluke's going to have to be very careful now pushing on to this point. Morningstars are going to grab themselves a tick.
Tech36 has been hacked. Maybe they can try and follow up on that, but for now it's asking who's gaining all of this damage. Kevster's ready to go.
It's just going to come out. There it is. Health pack's going to get hacked as well. Thank you very much. All that free damage from Superluke. Boostio coming in. Okay. If you want to save the fight, give it to Dredro. Why not? He's going to get hacked, though, so he's not going to be in the best position to actually use that nano. AT forcing Morningstars off of the point. They got EMP themselves as well. Tech36 using that rather late. Look at all that damage again Superluke was doing. He used that primal rage in that small room. Everybody's going to die so quickly. He's got 30% towards another one as well. Morningstar's going for another attack. They got a minute remaining, but they did gain a tick at least.
So much value there from a manual hack as well. From Kevster, Dredro got the boost here. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but he still had the opportunity to go up and assassinate, right? Using his wall climbing abilities, but they ripped the grip tape off of his skates, could not get up the wall. And that meant that he was just sort of like firing those sound blasts so impotently. Brewston's ready to try and lock down this next one. Self-destruct ready to go, but they've got so many shields they have to deal with. Dredro going to have to be conscious about using the sound barrier before that EMP is available.
Nice little boot. The manual hack's going to come out as well, forcing Morningstars to actually use the beat there. Not something that I really think they wanted to do. Chubbs is going to get slept on the back end of it, and Slur's completely alone out in the open. A-Fox is going to claim the kill. Arskin's going to throw the grab in. They're going to get a lot of damage out. Bio Grenade's going to do a lot of work. However, big beat comes through. Instant EMP on the follow-up from Morningstars. Kagasi didn't stand a chance. He actually died with rally up as well. A defensive tool that they're not going to have available anymore. The shatter from Chubbs could be big, but he ends up going down to Superluke. No way he was touching the ground. 8 seconds remain for Morningstar to touch this point.
There's someone in the back. Maybe they can manage to do it. Dredro's coming in with the skates.
Nah, instantly naded, instantly killed. OT has been triggered. Kagasi running towards the point with the rally up. Body blocked, booped, and all the above. Round 3's completed. And Morningstars, they gained a tick and just a smidgen of extra percent. And now they've got to contend with a 4+ minute time bank.
I think we saw a great example there of the informational advantage that someone can give you as a hero just through the inherent use of their hacks. I think we saw an earlier hack onto Tech36 just when they were skirmishing around, although Tech36 managed to survive it. But it did show there was no tick above his head, so EMP's not available. You know what that means? When you get grabbed, you're safe to use the sound barrier. It's not going to get stripped away. Tech36 was still about 10% away, and this is what I said. He needs a little bit more of that generation. If you could have had the EMP at that point, strip away the sound barrier, maybe that's a fight win for Morningstars. An extra 30 seconds and another point on your bank. Angry Titans, though, now in a pretty good position. This is still winnable for Morningstars, though, because they did get half of that first point. They do have a tick and a little bit as leeway, but they can't afford to give away that first tick for free right now. Otherwise, they'll constantly be on the point, just making sure it's contested, because that would go away in, like, what, 2 seconds?
Not even that. It would be half a second, I think.
Yeah, just a momentary lapse in concentration, and somebody just be like, hello there, and goodbye map.
Yeah, goodbye map. And match point as well to AT. Looking briefly like their former selves now. I did mention at the start of the series, yes, they did lose 3 players, some of their star players. However, same old AT, the spirit is still alive within the team. And what a good addition Brewston has been as well. Just absolute monster of a player. I'm glad he's flexing a lot more onto the Sombra too. This is where just this 3-3 comp is very much evolving. He's keeping up with Tech36, and that's the main thing his team wants from him here.
Brewston's actually going to swap back over onto the Diva, which is more of a signature hero. We've seen a lot of this from him in previous rounds. Angry Titan's going to play on this triple tank right now. Maximum pick potential using both the Widowmaker, the Hanzo, and the potential for a Halt and Hook, the Oink and Yoink, as IDDQD has called it.
Oink and Yoink, all right. I like the pulled pork, it's pretty good. Of course, Kebs is on the Sombra, is what I meant, not Brewston.
Kevster with a Widowmaker will actually be able to challenge out Kagasi and Asking here, but Asking may well be able to play behind those shields again.
You're good.
That's a lot of healing, though. That's going to give a lot of support ultimates over. Kevster trying to get the angle here onto Asking, but they're still playing around that shield.
Same kind of game plan, though, for AT. Just slow but steady. Sur's going to go down. Resurrection from Dredro can come in, but it's going to buy a lot of space for AT. There's the oink and yoink straight onto Chubbs. AFOX instantly takes him out, and now no shield for Morningstars. They're going to have to attack, and they're going to have to attack now. There's no way Dredro can go in for the rares. He gets beaten down by AFOX. Chubbs on the emergency wrecking ball as well, but I think it's too little too late.
I think we may have seen a force out of a Fortify there.
It's all done. AFOX getting a double kill. Morningstars trying to get back to the point in time. Chubbs is going to be there, but it is desperation. Dragons are going to come out as well. No way they can get back on it. Morningstars, they're going to fall at the first point, and AT secure match point in the series.
Smart play there from Angry Titans. You know with the double snipers, you have the damage to try and force out a Fortify from the Orisa, right? Like, you get an off angle, you get a headshot around that shield, and Orisa's like, oh, God, I got to Fortify, got to get healed up, cannot afford to die. And of course you can't. You just got to hide a little bit around the shield. But at that point, once you see that Fortify, then you go for the halt above the shield, and you know they're not going to be able to resist that CC. They're going up in the air, and guess what? They're coming to you as well, because you're going to pick them out of the air with that hook. And the forearm strength on Roadhog,
it's pretty nuts.
Like the back strength as well, just to be able to pull that in. That guy lifts.
Lifts a whole bunch. Lifts Orisas on a daily basis, apparently.
Lifts a load of burgers as well, looking at that way.
Wow. You just calm down, Harry. There's something off about you today. I don't know what it is, though. AT, currently on match point in the series. Morningstars, they need to be able to get back in this. I think they maybe just run a little bit more DPS-centric comps. We'll have to wait and see, of course. I mean, we did see Asking coming into the roster, and I think when we look at Asking, we go, okay, so DPS specialist, of course, but speciality hero is the Widowmaker. I want to see him more on the Widow. We've got one of the best Mercies in EU as well. We've got Dredro on the squad. Maybe just boost him on the Widow, just let him do his thing. He even can run a Pharah, of course, but it's just not working out so well. AT, on the other hand, the addition of Bruce's been working out just perfectly for them. Like I mentioned before, he's really been a player that's not fallen under the radar, just haven't had as much success as teams like Angry Titans have had in the past, teams like Giganti, and I'm glad he's settling into this team. He was someone that Yona as well hyped up just an absolute ton. It was like Bruce's probably one of the best off tanks right now, currently in Contenders in EU. And we're seeing it right in front of our eyes in a team that has been around for so long. Integrating him has been not a trouble whatsoever, which in some cases we've seen a lot of teams struggle to almost integrate their off tanks and some of their main tanks as well throughout the season. And we know how EU is. Roster struggles almost every single week, but Bruce's seems like a perfect fit.
Yeah, when we talk about flexibility, we have had a lot of flexibility with rosters in EU, but on Angry Titans, it's definitely coming into their favor right now. We've got Urki, we've got AFOX, we've got Brucein, we've got Kevster. They're all able to play so many different heroes that you can have so many different looks come out from the side of Angry Titans. You never quite know what you're going to get, which is weird to say about Angry Titans. They used to be one of the most formulaic teams, right? Oh, they're super good at running 4 tanks, they're super good at running 3-3, so that's what they run the entire season.
They were the original creators of the quad tank as well. Not creators, but
the slambulance.
Popularizers is what I should say. Does look like we're going to a quick break, though. Do not go anywhere, guys. AT, match point in the series. We'll see if Morningstars can come back.